For real, you quit your stable career to make TikToks? That's what my friends and family said when I quit my 9 to 5, and just 1 year later, I'm making more money from my phone than I ever did with my over 4-year college degree. Hey guys, I'm Briana, and I'm gonna be real from the jump. Just a year ago, I was in a completely different place in my life. I was working as a child development specialist in California, and honestly, it was a job I worked really, really hard to get, and honestly, a job I found really rewarding in a lot of different ways. But I was constantly dealing with meltdowns, tantrums, getting hit, bitten, scratched. Like, it does come with the territory when you are working with kids with developmental and or behavioral delays. But to top it all off, I actually had a 30-mile commute each way as well, and it really did start to feel longer each and every day. I just remember sitting in traffic thinking like, oh wow, is this it? Like, is this all this is ever gonna be for my life? Is there like nothing more? Because I definitely wanted something more for my life. I wanted to build something meaningful. I wanted to level up. I really wanted to be like all of the high class families I was working for. And around that same time, I had also started posting motorcycle videos on TikTok. Okay, so it was just a hobby to begin with. It was nothing crazy. It was literally just doing it for fun. I've always loved motorcycles. I literally grew up on the back of my dad's Harley, and it really just made me want to get one too, because I didn't want to ask people for rides. I just wanted to go out and ride by myself if I wanted to. So I ended up getting a Harley Davidson Sportster. She is definitely my baby, but I started posting just casual rides. I started posting maybe like the gear I was wearing. So this is when something really interesting happened. My best friend Sam actually started posting to TikTok too around the same time, and she wasn't posting anything crazy. It was literally just like things about her life, but she started making actual money from TikTok in literally weeks, and it really blew my mind. Then a few months later, she was actually able to quit her 9 to 5 and do TikTok and content creation full time. This was a massive wake-up call for me, because she was actually doing the same thing I was doing before she started posting to TikTok. She was just working with children, and it really made me realize like, oh, if she can do it, there's no reason I can't do it either. So that's when I made a decision. Every day after work, I was posting 3 to 6 TikToks, literally no excuses. I was learning, I was researching, I was posting, I was doing everything possible to make sure that I stayed committed and I stayed consistent in my posting. I got super organized with what I like to call my 5 to 9 strategy, and that's just basically making the most of all the hours after my day job. From 5 to 6, I like to call this my content planning power hour. I literally just figure out what I'm going to film, get everything ready in order, make sure my scripts are there, and we're ready to go. From 6 to 7, this is filming and editing, okay? So I have everything ready to go, and I'm busting out filming. I have my scripts in front of me, and then I just sit down and I edit after that. From 7 to 8, this is pure community building. So you want to go across all your socials and really engage with your community, all right? You're not going to grow, you're not going to get an audience if you don't also engage with other creators. And from 8 to 9, this is business development. This is any admin you have to do, respond to inbounds, send some outbounds, plan what you're actually going to do for the rest of your week, whatever it is that you need to do to plan to make sure your business is progressively moving forward for the next week. That's what you do in this hour. And I am not gonna lie, at first it truly felt like I was pushing these videos out into nothing. All right, I call these the quiet posts, and that's because we really feel like we're putting in all this work, but they're not really getting any traction. I remember when I first started doing this full time, I think I cried within the first 6 months to like a year, probably cried about like 45 to 50 times. And I really do wish that was an exaggeration, but you know, you're doing all this work and you're pushing out these posts and you feel like they're getting no traction and you're getting frustrated. There's a learning curve and you're learning something new, and there's always going to be frustration and you're always going to probably cry about it. I mean, at least I did. There was this one night that I will never forget. I remember I was sitting at my kitchen. It was like 9 to 10 p.m. and I had the most horrible day dealing with just toddler chaos, just a lot of meltdowns, a lot of drama. And I was working on this product review that I probably spent the last 30 minutes to an hour reshooting because I felt like I just wasn't getting it right. But I did keep pushing, and by like 1 a.m. I did felt like I had a solid piece of content that I was able to post. I set my alarm for around 4:30 in the morning when I had to get up, 3.5 hours of sleep. We love that. And I crashed out. The next day, I literally got in my car and lunch. I checked the video and there was nothing. There was no likes, no shares, no comments, literally no engagement whatsoever. And I'm going to be so real when I say this, that I sat in my car and I cried. I cried for a solid like 25 minutes, I think. I was just so exhausted from the night before. I was so bummed that what I worked so hard on just didn't gain any kind of traction, and I bawled in the car. Even though I was really sad and I wanted to stop, but I kept pushing because consistency is the name of the game. Then slowly my content really started to pick up. It actually started to convert. I remember getting my first sale off someone buying a product that I talked about in a video, and I got my first $3 commission, and I was over the moon. I was so excited. Then it started increasing. So I realized what was working, and my $500 went to over $3,000 in one single month in just TikTok shop commissions. And then even crazier, brands started reaching out to me for retainer deals, which I thought was really awesome. One brand turned into 3 brands, and then 5 brands, and now this month I'm working with anywhere up to 10 brands paying me a few hundred to a few $1,000s each. At this point, my income wasn't supplementing my salary anymore, it was actually exceeding it. The moment that I realized this could actually replace my 9 to 5, I'll never forget. I woke up one morning, I checked my TikTok earnings, and I had over $1,000 in there. And just to put in perspective, I would have to work over 60 hours in a month just to get $1,000 at the time. So the fact that that was like almost overnight really blew my mind and really just opened my eyes to what could be possible in this space. So I did something that absolutely scared me to death. I put in my notice at work. I'm always a pre-planner. I'm always someone who wants to make sure that I will be fine no matter which way I go. So this in of itself was like truly terrifying. I remember my boss asking me if I was going to another school, if I had another job lined up, and I was just telling her, no, I plan to do TikTok and create content full time. And I definitely got some weird looks. But I ended up leaving my 9 to 5 and I moved to Texas with my best friend who was also doing content creation full time. Now I'm my own boss. I'm actually literally living the life that I dreamed about while I was working my 9 to 5 and just completely living life on my own terms. I'm my own boss. Like, I can work when I want to work. I can rest when I want to rest. And I really just never thought that was going to be possible for me. Having my own content creation business, I can literally live wherever I want. I can work wherever I want. I can make more or less depending on how hard I actually want to work. It is truly top tier. It is everything everyone always tells you about. Again, I never imagined that I would actually have the freedom and flexibility that I have in my life right now. And the fact that I can actually structure my days around what's going to work for me, it really does still just blow my mind. Because when I say this, I actually mean it. There's really no cap at what you can achieve in this business. You can really treat this like a side hustle that's just going to kind of supplement what you earn in your 9 to 5. Or you can treat this like a legitimate business and see results and really exceed expectations you set for yourself that you didn't even know were there. And honestly, the finances changed everything for me, okay? I was not very wealthy. I was living paycheck to paycheck. Now I'm making well over 6 figures doing something I actually love. The biggest change, again, it wasn't external. It was truly internal. I definitely had to overcome imposter syndrome. I was for sure the creator who was refilming things maybe like 15 or 20 times because I just wanted it to sound perfect. I wanted it to sound right. And then I would get in my head and I would delete videos right after I posted them, which you don't ever want to do. Please don't do it. Once I realized that no one's me, no one can relay information the way I do, no one can tell the story the way I do, that's when everything really changed. Because that's when I could actually focus on serving my audience and not stressing about really being perfect. And this helped me out in so many ways, okay? My content became more authentic, my audience actually started to grow faster, I started having more fun, and brands actually started reaching out to me. So if you're feeling stuck like I was, just know I've been there, and I started by just posting 1 video a day after work, okay? It's really going to be that small step, that action that's really going to change everything for you. And really the most important thing I learned is that it's not about being perfect. It's really about being consistent, being authentic, and just willing to learn and adapt. If I could go back and actually meet my younger self who was sitting in traffic and really just questioning all of her life choices, I would tell her that, hey, that feeling that you have, that there's more from yourself, like, you're right. And it's actually way closer than you think. I'm truly so grateful every day that I actually took a chance on myself. And if I can do it, a busy child development specialist, literally creating fun motorcycle videos on the side, then imagine what you can do with the right guidance and support. So if you found this helpful or at least a little interesting, then go ahead and check out our Creatorshop program where the dreams you have to better your life can actually become a reality.